applause to James Conley.
So, you mentioned my brains are there to retire by 35, and my 30th birthday was yesterday, so this is my official 5-year notice of BNI, to let you guys know. I can't start off this presentation without just having an incredibly deep amount of gratitude to this chapter. My life has really been absolutely transformed by BNI. I joined a little bit over 2 years ago, and interviewed by Chris Carl and Christine Zells, who were, frankly, as far as I'm concerned, kind enough to take a chance on me. And the business has skyrocketed. So I really just want to thank everyone in this chapter for sending me referrals, for doing business with me. In particular, shout out to Paul Banis, Christine Zells. Nancy Hughes, who isn't here right now, has been a great resource. Corinne Rogers has been great for getting people into insurances, and I do apologize for anyone else that I've mentioned in saying that. So the O'Lear team was started in 2000 by Michael O'Lear and then later Laura Nightingale joined. We currently have 8 full-time agents on board with us. I am joining them April 2016, switched over from Hunt Real Estate. And in 2 years and 3 months, this is the first public announcement of this, I'm going to be the newest partner of the O'Lear team. That's really largely due to what this group has offered to me in my life, and I just really deeply appreciate that. So, real quick about my professional timeline here for those that might not be aware. I started off in the School of Architecture at Syracuse University. During that time, I started to get introduced to the ideas of real estate development during a class elective that I took. Totally changed the trajectory of my life. I was convinced I was going to be an architect from the time I was 9 years old and had my first Lego set. And I fell in love with the idea that you could actually go and have truth melded into design, because design is ultimately subjective. But in real estate, how well you design something comes out in the numbers ultimately. And that was something that really just got very attractive to me. Later went on to work in commercial mortgage, got involved in property management, real estate investment, roofing, sales, construction, and then ultimately fell into real estate. So since 2011, I started getting involved in purchasing rental property and then going and fixing it up for the purposes of trying to go improve the city of Buffalo. That was really what my goal was coming fresh out of college. And this is some photos of some design work that I did. This was a property on the west side that was in need of a tremendous amount of work. It was going to be condemned. In fact, this unit that I have photos of was condemned by Erie County Health Department. And I had a chance to go and do some renovation work there. The rents initially in the building were $300 to $425. I was able to take them from $750 to $950 after the work done. And by this time, some friends and family kind of taken notice a little bit of what I was doing, asked me a lot of questions about real estate, and started to see I had a pretty good experience with just doing value adds to properties. So after a long talk with the wife, and not then wife, but now wife, and her kind of being upset with me coming home with screws, dust, debris in my pockets from construction, sawdust everywhere, decided to go and take a little bit different route. So I got in initially working largely with buyers, and working with buyers is a lot of fun. Came to the table with a lot of great stuff to offer them in terms of just walking through the house, pointing out various deficiencies within the property, kind of doing that mini home inspection right out the gate. As things progressed, the market heated up, and we had to go and get into incredibly competitive offer situations. How do you go and deal with the fact when you're against 27 other offers? What do you do? Forced me to become a master of the terms of the contract and knowing how to go and write each in and outs to go and make sure that my client's offer was accepted, in some cases over 27 others. And not always necessarily need to be the highest price. There's a great client that Paul Banis sent me, really sweet family. We went around, had some offers accepted, had some fall through, and ultimately came across this beautiful gem of a property in the city of Buffalo, done top to bottom. Submitted an offer, it was competitive. The sellers actually went and signed on with that particular offer. The purchasers were not going to have that. Fought to it. We actually managed to go and get the seller to go and break that contract with that client after he already issued out attorney approvals and signed out with my people. And then lastly, I had a lot of fun getting to play matchmaker. This was for a house in West Seneca, set on 3.2 acres, owns part of Casanova Creek. I knew the sellers for it. I was working with clients that came into my office, and they were telling me their wish list, and right away this property came to my mind. Turns out that it was off market. The sellers were no longer selling. I was able to go and reach out to them and play matchmaker there and get them connected on something that wasn't even listed for sale at that point. So, the stats. I was just informed by Steve actually that there was an article or a TV series in the news about how hot Western New York real estate is. Absolutely true. The one thing that doesn't always get told is that it's only hot in certain markets, in certain neighborhoods, and certain price points. It's not always true across the board. One of the things that I want to go and point out in this slide here is that year-end 2017 is the most accurate numbers that I have for this. There were just a little bit over 16,000 homes that are listed in Western New York. And as hot as our market is, just a little bit over 12,000 of them actually sold. So the market average for most real estate agents is they sell 3 out of 4 homes that they list. My personal market average is 3 out of every 100 I don't sell. So average days on market, there's an important figure there. The longer you stay in the market, the older you get. The more sale you become, the more vulture offers kind of come in. The average days on market currently, even as hot as we are, 53 days. My average days on market is 11. And then lastly, percent of list price received. Presently, people are receiving on average 97.4%. My career-wide average is 104.8%, consistently selling above the actual listing price. So these are just some homes that were sold over asking the last 16 months by our team. A couple in particular I was a little more proud of than others, just because they weren't exactly in very sexy markets. No offense to Cheektowaga or Grant Street. But we ended up going and selling several. This one on Grant Street sold to 16 offers while we're asking had foundation issues, largely due to what we're doing in terms of the pricing strategy and how I'm rolling out the project from the beginning. And then how we're going and setting up the offer deadline is a large thanks to why people are going and getting this kind of results with it. Christine Zels was kind enough to go and send me a client about 2 weeks ago. So they listened to exactly what I did in terms of working with the staging, working with the timeline, setting up the sales structure. We put it on the market. First day of showings was Saturday. Agent walked through at 9 a.m. from that property. We had a contract for over $5,000 over the asking price, literally 13 hours later. In that situation, that was one of the properties I listed $10,000 above where I thought I really should have sold for. So, quick question as to where do I sell? I had zoomed in a little bit. I've sold out in Niagara County, Cattaraugus, Erie County, and Chautauqua. Primarily the bulk of my sales relied really upon North Tonawanda, City of Buffalo, a little bit down into Cheektowaga, Williamsville, Amherst, some down Hamburg way. So I tried to go and specialize, not to focus on one particular geographical area, but become a master of all of them, depending upon where my clients needs to go and what they're looking for. So to get into some really good referral sources for myself, at the O'Leary team back in 2000, Michael started to develop an executive choice program. And his focus was on elderly adults and getting into people who are caregivers. There's a tremendous amount of stress that gets into any kind of move. When you're 75 or 80, that stress level just goes up. And we've seen people's health deteriorate tremendously when they're not guided by the right hand, and they can easily become heavily overwhelmed. Being knowledgeable about this, we try to be delicate with our suggestions and incredibly helpful to them throughout the entire process, a lot of hand-holding. HRA managers are good for me. 30-somethings popping out those babies. Pregnant women are good referral sources. Look for someone who's pregnant. That's a good idea. And just some quick client testimonials. But I'm told to wrap up, so that's it. And thank you, guys.